Sorry.
Hi everyone, congratulations on making it through the first 2 weeks of meditation and mindfulness practice. And welcome to the next 2 weeks and really the rest of the program as we're going to dive a little bit more fully into concentration meditation. And so with that, I just want to talk briefly about concentration meditation as a practice, as a technique, and how it differs from a mindfulness practice. And so a mindfulness meditation practice is really the foundation and the very beginnings of developing a meditation practice across all different kind of meditative traditions. We need to be able to pay attention to what's happening in this moment, become aware of ourselves, become aware of what's happening outside of ourselves in a really complete and full manner. Okay, so now we're in the present moment. What do you do? And that's really where concentration meditation practice comes in. And concentration meditation practice is still a preliminary type practice in relationship to advanced meditative techniques that might involve visualization or doing things within the body, etc. And we're not really going to get into any of that stuff in this course, but we are going to get into this power and this development of concentration meditation. Concentration meditation is also what I would say is the dominant practice in the school of Mahayana Buddhism, which is really, really big. Zen is a school of Mahayana Buddhism, and there are other schools of Mahayana Buddhism. And really for these schools of practice, the concentration technique is, in a sense, the complete meditation technique. And regardless of what your trajectory of meditation is, concentration meditation and what this practice develops becomes essentially the foundation after further development of entangling aspects of the psyche, essentially so that we can be more in touch with a fullness of our consciousness so that we may spontaneously manifest compassion in an appropriate way from moment to moment. You have to be able to be present and concentrated and focused to be able to do that. And so it's kind of a preliminary practice and a practice that's a part of the fruition. But the big difference between a concentration practice and a mindfulness practice is mindfulness practice is, we're holding the breath lightly like a spotlight on the breath. So the mind's lightly tied to the breath. We're bringing a lot of attentiveness to the body and the sensations in the body, all of the sounds, the lights, all of these things that are happening in the space are very much a part of a mindfulness practice. Now, it's not to say that those aren't a part of a concentration practice, but in a concentration practice, there is a much greater deal of commitment of training the mind and training awareness to be consistently present. And it's not like real aggressive or anything like that. There is a need for right effort. And so as we work to find and develop this concentration practice over the next 2 to 4 weeks, what we're going to do that's going to be very different is we're going to work to keep the mind more and more tightly connected to the object of meditation that we're going to use, whether that be the breath, whether that be a sound or a mantra or a sensation or a combination of such. The invitation is going to be, we want to develop a way to start to stay longer and to stay more fully. And so here, whereas before we were becoming familiar with the mind, we were becoming familiar with the moment, now we're starting to train the mind in the moment. We're training ourselves to hold the mind and to hold attention in a particular committed, directed way within that moment. So mindfulness, we're becoming aware of the fullness of the mind. Concentration is, now we're concentrating that power. I'd like to compare concentration practice to a samurai sword. When in concentration practice, we're essentially sharpening this sword of concentration to cut through the discursive nature of the mind and emotions, to be radically present, to be right here, rather than to potentially go on with the stories or the emotions or the sympathies, etc. Here, we're starting to develop a concentration and focus of that mind. And yes, and that's really the big difference. So I hope that's helpful. And I look forward to talking to y'all and practicing together. Thanks.
And